So we've got a little happy hour going on here tonight. I believe that is at 6 to 7 in the Exhibit Hall D, where the playground is. So go to the playground. And then following that will be the Augie Awards at 7 p.m. at the Mission City Ballroom, which is right over here. I want to introduce Neil Mandt, who is going to be coming up here. He's going to talk about AR, VR, and criminal investigation, tools of the Minority Report, and contemporary application. Neil is a 5-time Emmy award-winning producer, director, and tech entrepreneur. I know it sounds like I'm reading that. I should know that, but I was reading it. So I'd like to introduce Neil real quick. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming. Is my mic working? Yes, hello? No? Excellent. Thanks, Dan. I know Dan. He's got a great outfit out of Texas if you're looking for someone to make some cool content for you. As Dan said, I have a long background as a producer. I started in the 80s, very, very young, and I've always been an entrepreneur. I've only worked for people on a freelance basis a handful of times. I produced the O.J. Simpson criminal trial for ABC News. I was a reporter for NBC and ESPN. Started my career in journalism, and then decided to move more on the entertainment side, and I started producing movies and television series. And I could see in 2011 what was going to be the collapse of cable television, and it's basically happened in front of all of us. And so that had been kind of my core business, and I thought, well, everything's going to move to these OTT platforms where you pay for a subscription, whether it's for Disney Plus or Discovery ID or whatever it is. And I thought, well, since that's going to be the business, let me think of a universe where I can play in that universe, and I could create some sort of a platform. And so my wife and I have been working in the immersive space since 2014. We started on the VR side. We made some pretty cool content. We were involved in producing the Super Bowl for the Eagles in VR. We became the official company for IndyCar and college football playoff. Won a couple of Emmys for that content, and realized that VR was a long way off for what our goals were. VR is amazing for training. It's incredible for learning experiences, education, but that's not who we are as content providers. So we started thinking, well, where is the blend between the entertainment storytelling that fits with us, and where is the future of the immersive space going to be? And then we saw Pokemon. And I thought right away, I was like, oh, obvious, it's on a mobile phone. You know, I've been in the exhibit hall earlier, and I looked at a lot of glasses, and, you know, lots of fun, but I still feel like we're a ways away until we're all wearing this eyewear. And so as we looked at Pokemon, it was another 2 years that my wife and I were really sort of discussing it and say, what could we do to mirror what Pokemon is? So where's the remote? Here we go. And that brings up the question, why AR? Why would you make, as a content creator, why would you make something in AR? It has to have a purpose. Now, from a shopping perspective, it's fact, it works, it's great. But from an entertainment perspective, to this day, I've only seen a handful of things that I think that are interesting. And what Robert was showing in the last session I thought was fantastic, as he's bridging the gap between student journalism and immersive journalism. And so we looked at the space and we thought, well, what Pokemon Go did was it enhanced the story. If I'm reading the cartoon or the comic book, or I'm watching the television show, and suddenly I can have the Pokemon exist in my universe, and I can walk around this character. I understand its height related to my height. So when I go back and I watch the cartoon, or I read the comic, I suddenly understand my positioning as it relates to that asset. And it makes me either enjoy the cartoon a bit more, or at least be able to place myself in it and have a greater understanding. And so we looked at that and we said, well, where could we find a content universe that would benefit from this? And we realized it was true crime content. Shows like Dateline or the news. And my wife, Lauren, who's my partner, she's a true crime fanatic. This is the content she consumes all the time, podcasts all the time. I get very little attention because she's watching stuff about murder and mystery. And by the way, I don't care how simple and obvious my death looks in the house. I want a full investigation if I die in the house or in any situation. It's a high probability that she has faked my death and murdered me, and it's not good. So we realized true crime was a huge space, And so we decided to move forward, and obviously true crime is gigantic. 50% of the top 10 and 100 podcasts are true crime. It dominates the space. 3 out of top 10 Netflix shows of last year were true crime. Top 10 television shows in the U.S. are true crime. Primetime network in the U.S. is crime. It's either a Law and Order or a Dateline or a 2020, whether it's scripted or unscripted. That's what dominates the primetime lineup in network television in the U.S. Rarely will you see sports, a World Series, or during the fall there's a Thursday night game. But other than that, there's nothing really on primetime television that is anything but crime. And sports is really a fraction of that audience. Even though everybody thinks of how giant sports is, it doesn't bridge the gap globally. The guy who's the Cleveland Browns fan, he may not watch a football game if the Browns aren't playing. He doesn't know anything about Indian Cricket League, and the guy in India doesn't know anything about the NFL, but they all know who O.J. Simpson is. So these subjects are global in nature. And the person in the middle of Iowa won't care that that story is from North Dakota or from Timbuktu or Argentina. It's a story and it's interesting, and the true crime audience can't get enough. So I'm going to show a little video that'll be very quick, and it'll give us an update on what the whole app is, and then we'll get a little more granular.
Hi there, my name is Neil Mandt, and I'm here to talk about a new app my wife and I created, and it's called Crime Door. Now, Crime Door is the definitive place for people who are interested in true crime content. News, information, videos, photos, police reports. It's all organized in one simple place. We have also created some very advanced virtual reality and augmented reality content, experiences that exist on the mobile phone. No eyewear is needed. So first, I'm going to run you through the platform so you can understand exactly how that works, and then we'll follow up and show you some of that immersive content that's so exciting.
The Crime Door platform is a one-stop shop for true crime content. Enthusiasts finally have a place where they can go to get true crime news that is updated multiple times a day. Our team of journalists hand curate all of the content in the app from trusted local and national news sources. Case profiles are neatly organized to offer a wide variety of media related to that one crime in a simple format. Each case profile contains a short synopsis highlighting the details of that event, as well as a map that offers turn-by-turn directions to the location. A 360-degree image gives a clear picture of the surrounding area. And by using the map feature, geolocation allows the users to search crimes from anywhere in the world.
I'm Lauren Mandt. It's October 8th, 2021, and you're watching Crime Door.
And starting in Q1 2022, Crime Door will have a daily crime news recap show, which will be distributed across a number of AVOD platforms.
Okay, now it's time to check out the immersive content, augmented and virtual reality. And the first thing I'm going to show you is our reinvention of the missing persons poster. If your loved one or friend went missing right now, you'd have to go to Kinko's, make plenty of copies, get people to help you to post them up around town. However, what we have done now is we've just created a simple web link that anybody can share and then make that missing persons poster exist three-dimensionally in their living room. And then by clicking Learn More, you get to go straight to the case profile where all of the other information exists. So let's take a look right now at the new missing persons poster. Now, this does not require a download of the app. It simply is a link, and then just like that, it exists right in your living room. And I can come up, I can read all of the information, entirely shareable. I can even move it around my room, and you can see it even drops a shadow there. When I click the Learn More button, this takes me directly to this case profile in the app where I get all the information as well as contact, and that way we can make a tip. Okay, next up, I want to show you our three-dimensional evidence. And the case we're going to present is the Elisa Lam Cecil Hotel mysterious death. This case took place a few years ago, and it's still very popular. And without our technology and our experiences, the average user could never, ever explore this location. Let me show it to you right now. Our three-dimensional evidence is really impressive. You're able to move this Cecil Hotel anywhere you want in your room and do a full inspection of it. Now, this is exciting because this case, a woman was found on top of the hotel inside one of these water barrels. Now, there's no way a user could actually get up there and climb on top of it without getting arrested, of course. But now, using Crime Door and our AR evidence, the user can walk right up to the top of it just using their phone or their iPad and complete a full investigation. Lastly, I'm going to show you our augmented and virtual reality experiences. And remember, none of this requires goggles or glasses of any kind. In these situations, you're able to walk directly into the crime scene right in your personal space. And I'm going to show you today the JonBenet Ramsey case. I simply scan the room until the blue dot appears. I tap it, and now I have a doorway right in my living space into this alternate virtual reality universe. It's all three-dimensional, and I can just walk directly in, or if I have a small space, I could use this red joystick. Now this lets me get into each room and explore it. You may not know about that paint caddy there, or this yellow urine stain. This is where the FBI thinks actually she was killed. But it's in this small room in here is where we actually find JonBenet. And we're able to really explore this tight space, get a greater understanding of the environment. And of course, there's my doorway right back into the real world. This kind of three-dimensional, augmented, and virtual reality content is truly revolutionary. And when you think about a television show or a movie, or even a news story on the network news or in a newspaper, adding this content to it adds value to that information. It allows it to sink into the brain in a different way and let the user have an understanding of the story. Remember, reading and watching television, this is just learning. It requires experience to understand. Crime Door is the one-stop shop. We have the platform with all the news and videos and articles and photos. We have the podcast, and now we have this three-dimensional content here. It's totally unique. Thank you for considering Crime Door.
So, pretty neat. We get to experience the story, which is where three-dimensional content it will take us. It's all about experiential content. So now I move forward. Okay. We have yet to see many other applications that allow something that's significant like this, where it's an ongoing story, allows people to engage, and has a social impact ability here to potentially solve a crime. The television series offers an organic way for us to promote this new three-dimensional content and drive people into the app. We've seen already, we've had a high level of engagement in the app. With $1,000 spent on TikTok, we were able to get to the number 4 position in the App Store. We hit number 7 the week of the insurrection as a news app, higher than Fox News or CNN. And we currently have people in the app for 14 minutes and 47 seconds. That's a monster number for an app. We offer subscription models, like how do we make business? Well, the app is free. There's more than 100,000 hours of content in there that we highly curate and we update on a regular basis. And if you want to experience the immersive content, minus the posters are free, and we'll make a case profile and a poster for any family member of any victim or friend in the world. All they have to do is simply ask us. But if you want to have the advanced experiences, it's $4.99 a month or $49 a year. Now, imagine that Dateline episode. At the end of the episode right now, they're saying, for more on tonight's episode, go to our Facebook, our Instagram, and our Twitter. Well, let's just add one more word to that. Go to our Crime Door. At our Crime Door, they then make that additional piece of content, which enhances their story. There's been 1,000 documentaries on JonBenet Ramsey. What would make one separate? Have an immersive piece of content there. And just like the content you have to make for your Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, you're going to make it for Crime Door, but you're going to get a piece of that $4.99. So now you've created additional content that adds value for your audience, gives a greater understanding of your television show, and it makes you a couple of bucks. So Crime Door is one of those very unique places that we think that allows people to take that next step into the immersive content in an organic way. It's on a mobile device. There are very few places that are making content on a mobile device right now where it organically adds value to the television show or the movie or the newscast. Now just think about the podcaster. We're about to start releasing three-dimensional podcasts. Podcasting has grown dramatically, and as I said, the true crime genre dominates the space. So I'm listening to the podcast, and this is going to be released in a couple of weeks with a company called Audio Up and a story named Kayla Brown. You listen to the podcast, and the podcaster will have done the podcast walking through the room and talking about it. Look at this, did you know about this? Look at this, did you know about this? And so now I'm listening to that podcast, I'm going to download the door, and I can do it from my chair, or I can walk around. A portion of that money is going to go to the podcaster, and I'm going to have a whole different level of experience with that piece of audio. I've now taken it to an immersive level, which impacts my brain differently. I remember things differently, and it allows me to have a greater understanding of what they're saying. So that's Crime Door. I'd love to hear some questions and hopefully give you guys some more information. Thank you.